Hey my lovelies, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing this kind of girl talk, girl advice, taboo subjects, kind of like talk with you guys. I've got food, I've got a foot-long sub, Italian BMT. We're going to talk about that in a sec. I've got a cookie, I've got a drink, it is really early. It is about... It's not even midday, it's not even 12 o'clock, so I haven't had anything to eat. I'm absolutely starving. I asked you guys to send in me some like questions, kind of like girl talk, boy talk, questions over on Instagram. I'm probably going to do like a part 2 as well. Obviously this is completely like my opinion on certain topics. My opinion is probably going to be a lot different from loads of your guys' opinions. And when it comes down to advice, it's just like personally like what I would do in a situation. If we can get the nation talking, if I can help some people out with advice, like that'd be cool. So let's get into the video, guys. Let's get eating. Okay. Need to get the hair out of the way for this. So I've got my foot-long sub. I've got a Italian BMT. Now with the bread, like I keep changing my bread up, but I just stuck with Italian. I usually get herbs and cheese, but I stuck with Italian today. Got my cookie, double choc chip cookie. They've taken away my favourite cookie. I used to always go for the white chocolate and raspberry cookie. If you know, you know. But yeah, I can't find it anywhere, so I think they've like discontinued it. So my next favourite is the double chocolate. And again, like I feel like I'm going for different things at the moment. I usually get Pepsi Max. Usually get Pepsi Max cherry, but this time with just plain Pepsi Max. Okay, I'm just gonna take a few bites because I'm absolutely starving. And if you watch my first mukbang, you'll know that I cannot talk while I eat in the slightest. So we're just gonna be pausing here, there, everywhere. I'm an awful eater. Do you know what? This might just end up me eating a whole Subway without even talking. Okay, so do you know what? I got a lot of the same sort of like topics from different people. Like there's like 3 or 4 like main things that people want me to talk about, so I'm going to start with some of those. So I got a lot of people saying like, how would you deal with selfish friends? Like how do you deal with obnoxious people if you can't deal with them like all the time but you're around them all the time? And how having selfish friends and people who don't like give much to you is kind of like it, you know, it is a bit of a burden and people just don't talk about it. A lot of people talk about toxic relationships in terms of like boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife, but a lot of people don't talk about toxic friendships, so we're gonna start with that one. So how do you deal with selfish friends? Now I have actually had a lot of selfish friends in the past, like I'm 25 now, so I've like chosen like good friends, people that bring a lot of like positivity to my life. Like I feel like there's just at this point in my life there's no space for negativity, there's no space for people who are going to be selfish. So throughout the years I've kind of like learned, okay, so who are my actual friends, who are going to be there for me, who are not always going to like take from me. And I've just gotten rid of like loads of friends who just do not benefit me, my life. So if you do have a lot of selfish friends, I recommend just being completely straight with them. Like you don't have to be looking for an argument, like, it doesn't have to come to an argument, but if they are at the maturity level, you can sit down, you can actually talk to them without it progressing into like a type of argument, right? If they can't do that, then that's on them. You've tried to sit down and talk to them about it, you know, in a nice way. You're not being malicious about it, like you just want to have a nice conversation, tell them your feelings. If they don't understand that, if they want to have an argument, like that's on them. End of story. And to me, there's your answer. Because if you can't do that with one of your really close friends, how are you even friends with them? You should be able to do that. Honesty is the best policy, so just be straight. Because I think if you're gonna be talking about it like behind their back, or you're gonna be like lying to yourself about it, like it's just nothing's gonna change, it's gonna be the same and you're gonna be unhappy. But if they are a true friend, you can sit down, talk to them about it, they hopefully will understand and sort of sort themselves out. Hopefully you telling them, for it to get to that point, you sitting down and talking to them, hopefully we give them like a realization, like, okay, like I've got to change my ways, like, do you know what I mean? I know it's like quite difficult, especially like if you're someone who doesn't like confrontation, because I know I've got a lot of friends who don't really like confrontation and stuff like that, so I understand it completely. But like I said, at the end of the day, it shouldn't be confrontation. It should just be a nice, simple conversation with your friends. If they can't handle that, jog on. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need that in your life. Okay, I think I'm gonna eat this and move on to the next question. Okay, so we've got another friendship question, which I absolutely love. I really like doing the friendship ones. We've got someone who has asked, do you forgive if a friend has done something you wouldn't expect them to ever do to you? Now, this is really interesting as well, because I feel like it's each to their own sort of thing. Like, it depends, like, if you are a forgiving person. Like me personally, I usually forgive once. Depends on what it is. Like, if it's really, really, really bad, then no, because I just think if it is really that bad, like, there's no way an actual friend is going to do that to you in the first place. If you are a forgiving person, and if it is something that you can forgive, then it doesn't mean anything on you. Like, it doesn't mean, you know, people can walk all over you. You know, you are allowed to forgive. I think a lot of people nowadays see it as a bad thing. They see it as a bad trait, sort of like, yeah, people can walk all over you. Oh, you can just do something and get away with it. They kind of see it as like a weakness. Whereas I think I really struggle with forgiveness. So I really see it as a really, really strong trait to have, because I think you're able to have closure. You're able to actually process stuff and sort of get over it, not hold grudges and things like that. I think that's an amazing thing to do. So I think forgiveness is a really strong trait, and if you're able to do it and forgive your friend and just go on and go back to normal, that's absolutely amazing. So I definitely think it's a personal thing to yourself. So I would kind of like weigh up the options, like, so how bad is the thing that they did to you? How did it actually make you feel? Have you forgiven other people for less? I think as well, it depends how close you are as a friend. Like, for example, like, I would hold certain friends and family above other people. I hold them to a high regard, so I expect more from them, in a sense of, like, I trust them more, so I expect them not to hurt me. So if I were you, I would weigh up all these options and see, okay, how do they actually feel about this situation from hurting you? How good are they actually as a friend? Can you trust them? Can you forgive them after all of this? And if you can forgive them, is it going to go back to normal? I don't know whether that was helpful or not. But that's personally what I would do. If a friend really, really hurt me, I would just weigh up all the options and, you know, how much do they benefit my life, and that would make my forgiveness worthwhile, you know? Okay, I am still starving, so I'm gonna eat probably like half of this and then we're gonna move on. This is so interesting. So this was like the second most asked topic to talk about, and it's a very taboo subject, I think, especially when it comes to females. It is your views on porn, get the nation talking, is it cheating or nah? This is such a good question and just a good topic to talk about. Like, I've actually spoken about this topic to basically all of my female friends. It is something that pops up, well, not regularly, but it's definitely popped up with, yeah, every single one of my friends. So I want to talk about it in two stages. Like, one, like, just in general, like porn in general with like females, and also like in a relationship. I do find it really weird that it's kind of like a taboo subject in terms of like guys talk about it all the time. It's seen as normal for like guys to watch porn, but when a girl says that she watches porn or that she's interested or anything like that, it's kind of like, okay, like people stick their noses up at it, and it just baffles me. Like, one standard for guys and another standard for girls, and yeah, it's just really, really annoying. So yeah, me personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with guys, girls watching porn. If you're single, do whatever the hell you want. That's gonna get you going. That's what's gonna get you going. Like, I don't understand why there's this like massive thing about it. It just genuinely baffles me. I think it's because sometimes traditionally females are not sexual beings. Like, it's such a weird thing. Like, guys like girls to be sexy. They like to see them in like really nice underwear. Heck, obviously they like to watch them in porn. But then like outside of that, we supposedly have to be like really reserved. You know, we can't show too much. I know guys that want you to show the goods, but they don't want you to express it for everyone to see. They don't want you to express it on social media. So when a girl comes out and just says, I like to watch porn, like, everyone's just like taken aback by it. And it's definitely something that people need to normalise, you know, because at the end of the day, there are women in porn, so why can't women watch porn, you know? I think as well, it's like it could be a really good way for women to express and explore their sexuality, because when you're younger and you go through puberty, like, guys and girls, they don't really know what they want, so they explore, you know, they look online, they go on porn, they're like, okay, I like this, I don't like that. They understand more of what they actually like. So when it comes to actually doing it with your partner later on in life, you're going to know what you like, you're gonna know what you dislike. Of course you can explore it with your partner as well, but you're gonna already know the do's and don'ts. So I feel like that is just such a healthy way to explore it as well. Like this, I feel like there's just so many positives to it. Okay, so let's talk about porn in a relationship. Now, this one obviously is subjective. It's subjective to you, and it's subjective to what your partner wants and just what you want as a couple. Now, in my experience, like talking to my female friends and kind of like getting their opinion, like what they're like in their relationship, most of my girlfriends don't like it. They don't agree with it. They do consider it as cheating. I would say pretty much 95% of my female friends do consider it as cheating, but of course that doesn't necessarily mean to say it absolutely is. I find usually it is the girl that finds it cheating and the guy doesn't find it cheating, and then it's obviously up to them if the guy then decides to go and do it or not. I think a lot of the time, like when the guy realizes, okay, well she finds it as cheating, then okay, like I'll cut it out. You've obviously got to like trust and respect that your partner's going to do that when you tell them. I know of couples who like to watch it together. There is literally no right or wrong. It's just literally what you have a preference to in your relationship. Hopefully you both kind of like agree, but if not, obviously someone's got to compromise. And if it's as bad as you consider it as cheating, you would hope that the other person would compromise and be like, okay, like that's fair. Like I will respect your opinion. But yeah, I completely respect that most people, or most women anyway, do look at it as cheating, and I completely get that. Because at the end of the day, like, it is guys looking at other women typically in a sexual kind of manner. So yeah, like I get it, you know. And you know, if I wasn't bothered by it, but like my partner was like, no, I really don't like it, I consider it cheating, like it just I wouldn't even think twice about it. I'd be like, okay, that's it, like it's out of my life. Like it's really not a big deal. I think people think like it's the be all end all, like oh my god, like I've got to watch it. Like it's not that big of a deal. Like, do you know what I mean? I do know a couple of couples actually that have been together for time, and just every now and then to spice things up, like they'll watch porn to get like a little bit more heated, get a different type of vibe, which is so cool. Like they don't want to do it all the time, just here, there, like a one-off. Like it doesn't have to be a big deal. That's my opinion on it. It's definitely subjective. And in my experience, it's usually the women that don't agree with it and do think it's cheating. Me, myself, I have not come to a conclusion, but I have thought about it. I have thought, well, is it? I'm not too sure. It's an interesting topic, so I'd love to know you guys' thoughts actually. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do like 2 more. Do I have my cookie now? I'm still a bit hungry. You know me, I can't talk while I eat, so let me do this one. I'll have my cookie and then I'll do the last one. Okay, so changing up a little bit. How do you keep motivated and consistent? So firstly, I want to say I am not always motivated. I'm not always consistent. I do have my moments, and I have them at the moment quite frequently. So what you guys see on social media is just like one side of me. You know, 80% of the time I'm only going to post positive things, I'm only going to post good things, so you just see like one side of me. But it's the same with everyone, you know, most people just post the good and not the bad. So don't get me wrong, there are days when I'm just tucked up in bed, I don't want to do anything, I don't want to go outside, like I'm having a moment, I could be on my period, or I could just be like, you know, everyone's dealing with something during lockdown, you know, let's not be silly. And some days, or even a lot of the days at the moment, I just want to stay in bed, go to sleep, or put on a TV show, but I'm not going to post that, so you guys are not going to know about it. So don't let me fool you, I'm not motivated all the time. To the question, things to keep you motivated, things to keep consistent. I do try to keep it as consistent as I can, whether that's with like YouTube videos, whether that's with other things that I'm doing at the moment on different platforms, you know, making sure I stay in contact with like family and friends, checking up on people. I do like to keep consistent. I would say the things that motivate me is definitely having a good mindset. Like I don't really like to procrastinate. Things that would like really help me in terms of planning, like what I'm going to do for my days. I like to write things in my diary. I like to make notes. So I might do like a little to-do list like on my phone or in my diary. Okay, so today I've got to do this, this and this and this. And if I write it down, I have to do it. I have to do every single thing that I write down. It's sort of like setting yourself like a little challenge. Okay, so the challenge today is I've got to tidy my room, I've got to do this, and I've got to do that. It doesn't have to be anything big. Like as long as these sorts of things help motivate you to get these tasks done, it's cool. Your task for today could literally be, I've got to get out of bed, you know? Write it down if it helps you, and let's do it. I think as well, like if I get into a routine, it helps massively. It's when I break that routine, I get a bit more sluggish. So again, if you're like me and you like to keep a routine, you know, set an alarm in the morning, get up, get into a routine. Okay, I've got to shower. Okay, I've got to get ready. I've got to do this task. I've got to tidy. I've got to cook. I've got to go out and do the shopping. Like, set a routine. I think routines really, really help people and help people stay motivated. So yeah, so if I have like a few days out of a routine, I do find it a lot harder to kind of like get up early and just get going. So I usually start my day later. So I still kind of like do things during the day, but it's just a bit more slower. I'm a bit more sluggish and I don't get as much done. That's like if I come out of a routine. So during lockdown, I'm struggling a bit more because I'm not in a routine. Like, I'm not going out, I'm not going to work. I don't come back home and then I've got to do this and this. Like, there's just nothing going on, so I don't have a routine. And then lastly, I would probably say that make sure you still do something that you love. So when you are doing things day to day, and if you are going to work, if you have chores to do, make sure you fit in something that you love to do. A hobby, it can be anything that you love to do, make sure you do it. I feel like if you've got something to look forward to at the end of the day, or maybe in the morning, I feel like it really, really helps keep you motivated. Definitely for me, like if I've got a lot to do in the day, I always make sure like I finish off with like a TV show or like a good film, like at the end of the day. It keeps me motivated. Again, it's kind of like part of a routine. We don't always want to be doing just like boring stuff or just things that we have to do. We want to do things that we want to do, right? I just think that's so important to kind of like keep the balance, and I think it's really good for your mental health. And if you've got a good mental health, you've got a good routine. You've got good mental health, you've got good motivation. So it kind of like all links. So I think those are like three like main things that I would recommend for you guys to maybe try out, yeah, to help kind of like get you guys motivated and in the mood to be consistent. Okay, so I'm gonna have my dessert, and I didn't actually get onto the bevs. I was gonna have a few bevs with this talk, kind of like girl talk. Let's get a gin together, gin and lemonade, get you vodka, get you shots, and let's have like a girl talk together. But you know what, part two we'll have some drinks. This can be the food one, and then part two can be drinks of Shah. Let me know what cookie you go for, guys, at Subway. I've got like cookie all over my thumb. Honestly, Subway cookies are some of my favourite because I love soft cookies. I think they're so tasty. That's why I'm always dancing when I'm eating. I just realised I've been like slouching this whole time, like, hey. Hey, how you doing? This cookie is good. I wonder what I'm going to have for dinner. Thank you, Subway. Okay guys, so last question. Oh, a girl has sent in a question and it says, okay, so there's this guy that I think likes me, but I'm not sure how I can go about finding out without asking him, so I don't seem desperate. Oh, guy advice. I feel like I'm like a big sister giving advice. Now, like in one of my previous kind of like questions or subjects, as I said, honesty is the best policy. Honesty. So if you want to know something, if you want to talk about a certain subject with someone, be honest about it. Like, there's a certain way about going about, you know, a certain subject. Always be kind of like careful of how you word things and how you say things, like your tone of voice, because obviously you don't want it to come across argumentative. You want to come across in a really, really nice, caring way, right? I feel like with this specific scenario, from speaking to a lot of my guy friends, they say that they absolutely love a girl who's just straightforward, who's just upfront, a girl who sort of like shoots her shot, as opposed to, because usually it's always a guy that like talks first, who kind of like suggests things first, says how they feel first. They said that they kind of wish that girls do it more often. So hey, like if you ask this guy straight up, he might be like, damn, okay, this is a girl who knows what she wants. But also, I would kind of like look at the signs. Are you speaking to this guy every single day? Are you speaking to this guy throughout the day, every single day? You know, when you're sad, you know, is he there for you? When you have like really exciting news, do you like go to him? And does he respond back to you, you know, like hyping you up and stuff like that? Like, look at the signs. If this guy is doing this to you, he is into you. He's not going to be talking to you 24/7 every single day, being there for you if you need him, being there to hype you up. If he doesn't like you, trust me, okay? So if I were you, if the signs are all there, I would just be completely straight with him. You know, you don't have to just be like, yo, hey, do you like me? You can even just tell him how you feel about him. Be confident with it, ladies. You know, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You know, the worst that's gonna happen is gonna be like, okay, I don't feel the same way. But okay, at least you know that now and not like months and months down the line, right? Let's not waste our time. I hope that helped you. I'm not too sure. I don't know if that was helpful for you, but that's sort of like what I would do, and that's the advice that I would give. So I hope that helps. Ladies and gents, that's it for my girl talk, taboo subjects, mukbang video, whatever you want to call it. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I do have a bunch of other questions and subjects and stuff that I know you guys want me to talk about, so I will be doing a part 2. I will be doing another question box on my Instagram, so make sure you follow. As always, please give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. We have now hit 100 subscribers, so big thank you, big love to all of you guys for showing the support. Like, honestly, it really means so much to me. Please give me a subscribe, hit the notifications bell if you want to be notified when I upload more. Take care, guys, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.